Everybody, welcome to the Jayda InStitches show. Today on the show, I've got my mind on water. We haven't had much rain lately. I've been out watering the plants, and that's got me thinking about raindrops and how pretty they look when the sun shines through them. So I thought it was time for another cute amigurumi. So today, we're going to make these cute little amigurumi raindrops, and they've got a really simple, expressive little face on them. We also have a pattern for this little guy for free up on our website. So if you pop over to JaydaInStitches.com, head to the workshop patterns page, and you'll find this if you scroll down. And I've got a whole bunch of cute little different versions of the simple little emoji type face down at the bottom. So you can pick one of those or you can make up your own. This is also a good opportunity to follow along with a pattern, gives you an idea of how patterns are written, and it's also a neat shape. So if amigurumi is still something that you're kind of getting used to, then this is a fun shape to try and get your hands and your head around. It's worked in the round, it's increasing and decreasing, and it's, well, it's a cute little raindrop. So grab your scraps, grab your hook, go grab that free pattern, come on back, and we'll head to the craft table and make ourselves some raindrops. In order to make your amigurumi raindrop, you need a very small amount of your raindrop color. I'm using light blue in an acrylic worsted weight today. This is obviously a lot, I don't need this much. You need a little bit of black yarn for its facial features. Today's stuffing is a shredded old pair of flannel pajama pants, care of my hubby. I'm using a 4.25 millimeter hook, or a G6. I like this hook because it gives me a nice small stitch with my worsted weight yarn. You need a yarn needle so that you can do his little features and weave in your ends. You also need a pair of scissors. And once you've got all of that, we can get started. We're going to begin with a cinch circle. We're starting at the top of our raindrop and working our way down. Into your cinch circle, you're going to single crochet 4 times. Count to make sure you've got 4 single crochets into your cinch circle. Grab your short tail, cinch it up tightly, and we're going to work in the round. So rows 1 and 2 are a little tight, so just be patient. You're going to work directly into that first single crochet you made in row 1. If you need to place a stitch marker, you can put that either here or here and leave it there for reference. Into that single crochet, we are going to single crochet. In fact, for row 2, you're going to single crochet into every single stitch from row 1. So row 2 is just a total stitch count of 4. At the end of row 2, you're going to push your finger up into your work and pop it out so that it looks like the top of the raindrop here. So you want it to kind of bubble up like that. And from here on out, it gets easier. Into the next stitch, which isn't this one, it's this one, you're going to work 2 single crochets. So now we're starting to increase. That's 1 and 2. Single crochet into the next stitch. 2 single crochets into the next stitch. And single crochet into the last stitch. So your new stitch count at the end of row 3 should be 6 single crochets. And if you've got that tail hanging around, just stuff it up into the top of your raindrop. There you go. You can count to make sure you have 6. For row 4, you're just going to single crochet in each stitch around. You should still have 6 single crochets or 6 stitches at the end of row 4. Row 5, we're going to increase again. So we're going to go from 6 to 9. We're going to single crochet twice into the next stitch, single crochet once into the next stitch. So 2, 1, 2, 1. We're going to repeat that pattern 3 times for a total of 9 stitches. So 2 single crochet into the next stitch, single crochet into the next stitch, and then repeat 2 and 1. Alright, that's the end of row 5. Row 6, you're just going to single crochet in each stitch all the way around. And you can see that you're starting to get a gradual tapering effect, or a reverse tapering effect, I suppose. Alright, at the end of row 6, you should still have 9 stitches all the way around. For row 7, we're going to increase again, but our pattern is going to change a little bit. We're going to work 2 single crochets into the next stitch, and then work a single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. So the pattern becomes 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. You're going to repeat that around 3 times, and that'll give you a total of 12 stitches. Alright, at the end of row 7, you should have 12 stitches, and we're going to jump right into another increase row. So row 8, we're increasing again. We're going to go from 12 to 18, and we're going to do that by single crocheting 2 times into the next stitch, and then single crocheting once into the next stitch. So the pattern has changed again. You're going to work 2, 1, 2, 1. And you're going to repeat that all the way around until you've got a total of 18 stitches. We're at the end of row 8. You should have 18 stitches. For row 9, you're just going to single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So at the end of row 9, you'll still have 18 stitches. Alright, we're on our final increase row. So we've just finished row 9. You just single crocheted into each stitch all the way around. You should have a total of 18 stitches. You've got a little wizard hat now that fits on the end of your finger. And this is the final increase row. So row 10, you're going to single crochet twice into the next stitch to start, and then single crochet into the next stitch. So the pattern is still 2, 1, 2, 1. And you're going to repeat that. 2 single crochet into the next stitch, single crochet into the next stitch. Repeat that little pattern all the way around until you have 27 stitches. And then that's it for increasing. Okie dokie. Now we've arrived, at the part where we're going to create the bulk of the body of our raindrop. So for rows 11 through 16, you're just going to single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So we're done with the increasing. Now we're just going to single crochet along straight, as I like to say. So 1 stitch per stitch, no increasing, no decreasing, for rows 11 through 16. So you can work away at that, and I'll see you as we near the bottom of our raindrops. Alright, I have come to the end of row 16, and I'm going to show you a couple of tricks to figure out where you're at. So earlier on I said you may want to put a stitch marker on the first or last stitch of row 1. This is why. It might be a little bit difficult to see, but typically I can tell where my first row turns into my second row, and it's that little bump right there that I usually pay attention to as my North Star, or my starting point. I put a single little safety pin here so that you can sort of see a little clearer what I'm talking about. This is either the first or the last stitch of row 1. That's my marker, so I can count row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I know I've done 16 rows, and I've evened up my stitches at the end of row 16, so I make sure I kept single crocheting all the way around until my last stitch here is in a direct line with my little starting point. And that is what gives you that nice even shape. So he looks like this as opposed to, you know, this. And this is where we're going to pause. So we're going to pull up on our hook and create a nice long loop. We're not cutting our yarn. And we're going to take the opportunity, while he's open and we've got space to work with, to put on his little face. So you can refer to the pattern for other little facial features. I've got a couple of little simple shapes there, and you can make up your own. The trick here is to go nice and simple, just using little short, straight stitches. So I'm going to repeat this face because I just think it's so cute. And you're going to pick up your raindrop, hold it comfortably on your fingers, decide pretty much where you want to put the eyes. I made mine in the sort of the center of what I considered the face of my raindrop. And you're just going to start by bringing your needle up through, there we go, a stitch. So I tried to start with the bottom stitch of his eye first. Excuse me. And I don't want to pull through too much. You want to leave a little bit of tail hanging because that's what you're going to knot everything with. And then I'm just going to count over a couple of stitches. Pull my needle back down. So that's the bottom of his eye. And then I'm going to go up one row up, but still, come back here, still in alignment with the edge of his eye. So bring my needle back out and then back down through the same place. There we go. One squeezed shut eye. I'm going to bounce across, so about the space of maybe the tops of 2 stitches. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing, only I'm going to do it in the opposite direction. So I'm going to make sure that I make a line about 2 stitches long, or 2 single crochets long. There we go. Go up 1 row, pretty much in alignment with the edge of the eye, and back down through the same space. So the same little corner. That gives me my second eye. And then I just made a cute little inverted triangle for his mouth. And I worked that about a row down from the bottoms of his eyes, in the middle, sort of using that distance of space that his little, where his nose would be if I was going to give him one. So 1 short straight stitch about a single crochet wide. That's the top. I'm going to go down to the bottom of that stitch, work this side, come back out through the same little bottom of his triangle, and work the other side. This is super fast stitchery. There, he's so happy. He's so excited that he's falling out of the sky. Then you kind of flip it inside out, find that little tail you left behind, knot the 2 together, and you can snip your yarn if you like, or just use it as extra stuffing. And you can tuck it up into the inside of your amigurumi. So this one's pretty easy. There's no making the whole thing and then putting on the face later. You can put the face on before you've even finished all your crochet. So now we're going to continue with our amigurumi. And we're going to begin to decrease now. So now we're going to create the rounded bottom that gives them that nice raindrop shape. So here we go. We're going to decrease. We're going to single crochet the next 2 stitches together. Looks like this. Pick up a loop in the next stitch. Pick up a loop in the stitch next to that. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Wrap, pull back through all 3, and you have single crocheted 2 stitches together, and you only have 1 stitch or 1 set of loops on top. So that's how we decrease. You're going to single crochet into the next stitch, and then repeat the pattern. Single crochet 2 together, and single crochet into the next stitch. So you're going to repeat that, single crochet 2 together, single crochet into the next stitch. All the way around, you're going to go from a total stitch count of 27 all the way down to 18. All right, you now, at the end of row 17, should have a total of 18 stitches all the way around the opening of your little amigurumi. And now we're going to pause again, so pull up on your loop, don't snip your yarn, we're going to start stuffing. So I'm going to get some of my pajama stuffing here. And I'm just going to put a little bit in and muck it around until I feel like that's nice and firm up there. You can also use beans for stuffing. You can use polyester fiberfill, obviously, and you can use the tail ends of any yarn you might have lying around. So you can use whatever you like to stuff your little stuffed toy. Alright, that's enough for now. I'm going to gently pull back on my string, put my hook back in place, and we're going to continue now with another row of decrease. So you don't want to overfill your raindrop at this point because you want to be able to keep control of the stuffing. You don't want it sort of poofing out on you while you're trying to continue single crocheting. So we're into row 18 now. We're going to continue decreasing. We're going to single crochet the next 2 stitches together. There we go. And single crochet into the next stitch. So we're going to go from a total stitch count of 18 down to 12. And as you're working this row, you can work a little slower. Don't feel you need to speed through any of these projects, but you might want to slow down just a little bit so you can kind of keep control over the stuffing that's going to want to poof out of the bottom of your little amigurumi. You also want to try and make sure that you're not pulling your stitches too tight because you don't want to create unnecessary gapping around the bottom of your little toy. However, if you do get some, no big deal. When we weave in our tails at the end, you can leave an extra long length of yarn when you're finished your amigurumi, and I'll show you how you can weave it around and around and around to sort of close up any of those little spots that open up. Okay. That's the end of row 18. You should be down to 12 single crochets. If you're one off, like you're at 13 or you're at 10 or something, don't panic. What you're trying to do is get this nice raindrop shape going. So if you're one off or one not, don't worry about it. It doesn't have to be exact. You're going to add a little more stuffing now because your space should be just that much smaller and you should be able to control the stuffing that much easier. So you can pause. Put in a little bit more stuffing if you feel you need it. You don't want to overstuff your raindrop because you do want it to be able to sit like mine is here if you're going to have it as a little toy to sit around on your shelf or something. If you're hanging them from a mobile or just hanging them around your room, then you can stuff them a little bit more and make that bottom bit a little bit more rounded. But you don't want to overstuff it because you don't want it showing through your stitches. That looks good to me. All right, let's continue to decrease our stitches. We're going to single crochet 2 together all the way around. So the only pattern you have to concern yourself with now is just single crochet 2 together. And it is a little tricky with that stuffing there. So take your time. Just kind of stuff it back down if it's trying to get out at you. All right, you should be down to a total of 6 stitches. If you're one off or one over, don't worry about it. You basically want to have closed in your amigurumi until it's just got a little hole left. If you still feel it needs a little bit of extra stuffing, you can take the opportunity, the one last opportunity you have, to stick in a little bit more stuffing. And then that's it. We're going to close up this space by slip stitching around the posts of every stitch all the way around. And what does that look like? Well, let me just finish stuffing here. You're going to identify the post. So here's the top of the stitch. This is what we would work if we were single crocheting two together. The easy thing to do is stick your hook through one and then back out through the other. That's the post, this little thing right here. And you're going to slip stitch around that. So just grab your yarn and pull it back through everything. And where's the next one? Right here. Stick your hook down and up. That's the next post. Grab your yarn, pull it back through everything. There's the next one. Hook goes down and up. Grab your yarn, back through everything. So you're just going to keep doing this. You're going to slip stitch around each post all the way around until that space closes in. If your space closes in at 4 posts, fine. If it takes you 7 or 8, that's also fine. What you want to do is make sure that none of your stuffing is going to come out. So that's about as close as I think I'm going to get it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a long thread or a long tail on my yarn. Just going to fasten off, so I'm going to pull it all the way back through that last loop. Give it a nice tight tug. And this is where you can grab your yarn needle, thread up that long tail, and you see how there's little gaps showing where we've decreased. Maybe you've got a little gap here. You want to take your yarn, pick up some stitches, and just start weaving it through. You don't want to pull too tightly, and you might want to go around and around a few times, picking up stitches in several different rows. But what this will do is help close in all those little spaces. So once you get all the way around one, maybe you can slip down to the next row and just start picking up stitches and weaving in that tail. And you can go around and around and around until it looks nice and neat and tidy, just like this one. And then pull whatever's left of your tail into the body of your amigurumi, and you're all done. And there you go, raindrops! How cute are these? You can hang them, you can throw them, they make cute little bean bags. Give them to your friends if they're having a down day, and just let them know that you love them. And that's a cute way to do it. They look cute on shelves, they look cute everywhere. Make yourselves a raindrop today. And that's it for this week, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Jayda InStitches show. We will see you again next week. Until then, stay safe, stay crafty, and have an awesome week. Bye, everybody.